everybody, welcome to a sort of special episode of our podcast. As you can see, we're in our office that we've always been doing our podcast in, but the difference is that it's looking extremely bare. Can you explain why that is, Ruiming?
Yeah, so our lease actually expires today, and today I'm going to hand over the keys to our landlord. We have been here for a year, and we decided to move because the store next door, like they
Like behind us.
behind us, they burn a lot of incense, and I think we were concerned about like our health after being here for a long time, and also the health of our employees, right?
Yeah, so this is the last podcast that we'll do from this location, and today is the last day in this location. I think the rent is very cheap, it's like $1,000 a month. But I think lung cancer in the long term will cost more money. So even though we got this place at a very cheap price, I think it's time to also invest in the welfare of our employees.
Yeah, and also like, we don't take this lightly because like our new office rent will be like 2002, right?
Yeah, like more than double actually.
The new office will actually cost like double the rent. I mean, which is not a lot still because the beginning amount wasn't a lot in the first place.
But it's not double. Yeah. It's like you saying that it used to be $1 now $2. The price has doubled, but actually it's just $1 increase,
I do feel like some anxiety about it because now instead of 1K a month, we have to put 2.2K a month, and after you put in our 2 employees, then like the amount is starting to get like significant, right? And the thought of having to support rent and 2 employees a month, even though it's like a very very small thing, like to other entrepreneurs. As a new entrepreneur, like it's pretty
horrifyingly scary.
Yeah, pretty scary. And I think now being an employer really makes me empathize with my bosses in the past and realize like there were times in the past I wasn't the best employee because I didn't really understand like the risks that someone took when they ran a business because every month I just take the money, I guess, right?
Oh, you just talk about overhead, right? Just overhead.
Yeah, just
in terms
overhead.
of rent and then employee pay alone, that is very scary, right?
Yeah.
So don't get distracted if I look at the thing. It's just my
okay.
first time doing it, so I want to make sure that it's okay.
Okay.
You're doing fine.
Okay, thanks. I am doing fine. Thank you.
Yeah. We also hired an additional artist to help me, and she has actually been doing. Her name is Mel, and she's been doing a lot of the solo comics and articles on her own also, and she's able to mimic my style and my sensibility quite well so far. So that is another area that we have hired on, and also I've learned a lot of things as a boss and a manager lah. Like manager last time was different. I've been a manager before in a different company, but it was different because it wasn't my thing. And now I feel like when I have somebody helping me, I feel like sometimes I might nitpick too much, and I have to consciously tell myself to let things go. Like it's not even sometimes like because somebody I'm managing doesn't do it as well as me. It's like they just do it different, and sometimes different. I'm already like very kanchong. I'm like, wow, it's not me but it's my face on the line, or it's my company, it's my baby on the line here, and I feel like I have to control everything. And my learning lesson also this year really has been about letting go and trusting people and letting people surprise you that work for you.
Yeah, I completely agree because I mean I used to work in advertising, right? Then I think we would pitch ideas, and to me as an employee it was just an idea that we pitched to the client. But like now in retrospect I see that I was putting like my boss's reputation on the line, and then now I know like why they reject some ideas and they approve some ideas.
Yeah, I used to think it's heresy when my bosses would reject something really, really cool to me artistically, or creatively, and they want to do something safer. I'm like, you cowards, why don't you dare to just push the envelope a little bit? Well, because they got to sell to the client, and I'm not selling to the client. So all these lessons, it sounds like we're becoming more boring people. But I also think like to actually consistently and sustainably do exciting and creative things, you need to be able to handle this boring part, or at least like have enough clout or resources, which we are still on our way to getting these things right, to be able to say, F you, I'm not doing it this way, either this or nothing. And that's a very tough stance to take,
Yeah, and I think it becomes harder like, when you have more employees. Right. So today I was doing just IG Q&A. someone asked us like, why are we so hard on ourselves? Like, why don't we hire more people?
What was the context to somebody asking that?
Because I mean, I did say, like it's been a very busy year for us. It's quite easy to feel burnt out, lah, right? So I think a lot of people do ask us like, hey, why you don't just hire more people, right? But I think people don't realize for this model, or at least in publishing, having more people also means more overheads, and having more overheads, sometimes will affect business decisions in the company. So for example, if I wanted to turn down like a bad client,
a
right?
client that doesn't fit us very well,
maybe
but
like
will pay extremely well.
Then
we cannot turn down.
I can't turn out because I have to feed like 4 or 5 people suddenly.
Right.
And I guess.
Well, I don't care about me.
Okay, I don't care about you. Yeah, and that gives me. No, well, I forgot what I was going to say.
That gives you the kind of the cushion.
So keeping the team small gives us like the flexibility in turning down clients when we want to. I think we could definitely like hire more people, right? But then that will also add to our overhead. Then we can do more sponsored content. But I do not think it could be at the level of sponsored content that we do now, which I'm quite proud of, because I feel like right now the sponsored content we still try to keep it like very true to what it would be like.
People
if
might not
content.
perceive it this way, lah.
I know people
but we
won't,
can sleep at night,
but
right?
like I can sleep at night, lah. But if we have to do more, and then like the clients have more bargaining power over us, then I will not sleep as well at night. I'll be like, oh my god, we actually put this out. That's terrible.
But I also think in terms of keeping the team small, right, I actually feel like culturally, and then creatively and work-wise also, there's also there's cons, but there's also pros to having a small team, where you are more intimate in terms of how you talk to one another, and there's always a cost of expanding. So I think it's called Price's Law, where it says that the square root of the force of your organization is the amount of people that's doing 50% of the work. So if you have 10 people, 3 people are doing half of the work, which seems okay. But if you have 100 people, 10 people are doing half of the work, which then compounds. So necessarily as you grow into bigger and bigger organizations, there will be more and more redundancies, or like more and more like slack. It's not as tight, And I like doing everything myself also. Like I feel like this is my obstacle to being somebody who can truly be a great entrepreneur, maybe. But I'm okay running something more boutique where I have more creative like input.
Because I think right now a lot of tech companies are like getting all the attention. Then they always talk about like scale, outsourcing, automate everything. Put everything out. But I do think maybe that works for like a tech company. But I think for something that requires less scalable, requires more storytelling, needs more like, I would not say creativity, because tech companies also need creativity.
Definitely.
But I would also say like for the product that we produce, which is storytelling, I guess. Like I think
it's hard to scale, because that would mean that we have to trust people to, and maybe this is ego, right? It could be that we value our storytelling too much. But I also feel like if we suddenly grow to a 50 or 100 man operation, 100 person. When I say men, I didn't mean
very
whatever.
good. I'm impressed.
Right, 100% organization.
Yes, 100%.
It's not like I feel like we can just let it run and then everybody has their equal way to post online. And I think part of what makes our platform work so far is that we are close to it in terms of who we are. We share our own personal stories and stuff, and it becomes a bit more muddled and a bit more like I don't know, like a choir of voices.
Like
you
move towards like
voices.
being a faceless corporation.
Yeah. Which is not bad necessarily. It's like BuzzFeed, for example, managed to scale content. But I also feel like there's drawbacks to that. That so far I feel like we don't need to go there yet.
Yeah. Okay, and also for myself, because like I started Fire, I mean my whole journey started with the intention of having Fire. And I always told myself like there is a pain to reward ratio that I want to undertake. Like I only want to take this much pain to reach this level of wealth, and after that I may not think the pain is worth it anymore.
So you might go 80-20 pain, 80 pain.
Yeah.
Then later when you achieve a certain status, you go 60-40.
Exactly. So for me it's also like because running a big organization is painful. You can see in many SME bosses, people always complain about the SME bosses. SME means small medium enterprise. They always complain about their bosses, they are very like strung up all the time. They micromanage.
Or they make bad jokes.
Yeah, they
you
make
know,
bad jokes.
The racist.
Yeah. Actually, you can't joke about the racist part.
I never joke. I'm saying that.
Yeah, but it's nothing we laugh at. Okay,
it's nothing to be
yeah.
laughed
It's
at.
nothing we laugh at. I just want to clarify. Yeah, but they become these like very unpleasant people. And
Yeah.
last time as an employee, I'm like, wow, SME bosses are the worst because they behave this way. But now from this perspective, I can not that I approve of their behavior, but I can see why they go in this direction.
Why?
Because they're under a lot of stress, right? It's very hard for them to get employees because they can't pay as well compared to big companies. So and in a way they always feel
They
like
have no prestige
yeah,
also.
then
right.
they feel like this constant sense of betrayal because people just leave them repeatedly for greener pastures and I can see why they eventually become this like very
So are you justifying?
people.
Are you
I'm
justifying
not
our
justifying.
downfall
No,
into
no.
becoming all these grumpy
No.
semi-owners? Every day on LinkedIn telling people are very privileged and all that.
Yeah, so I'm trying. I'm making active efforts like not to.
Right. But you see the pain,
yeah,
right?
but so I'm trying not to be that person.
Yeah.
Trying very hard. Okay, not very hard lah. I mean, I can see why people eventually
Yeah,
become that,
yeah.
but it has made me empathize from their point of view. I mean, empathize with them also.
I think it also depends on that person because I think it brings out the best and the worst. Because if you are part of a bigger organization, right, I think like just in terms of structure, like bigger organizations tend not to be singled out for this kind of thing because if it's one person, they can get rid of that person. If it's an SME that hasn't scaled like that yet, your company is still very much like reflected by whoever's in charge because it's like the top 60% of all the calls that you make. So if that person is bad or if that person has a certain penchants to be a certain way that is not acceptable or very very weird or annoying or whatever, it just will tar the whole organization and it will come out very loudly. But having like 100 people or having like an executive team or board of people that can just step in and take over if something goes wrong makes it a bit more diluted when something or somebody at the top is being difficult lah. So it might be that also,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, either way, I think we can agree that
Yeah. It
Being-
takes a lot of effort to actually
run an SME.
Yeah.
And maybe I just don't want to be that person, right?
Then we just have to consciously
Yeah.
keep checking ourselves.
Yeah, because like
right?
I mean, it is stressful, and
Yeah.
I spent like my 20s like working quite hard.
Yeah.
So I feel like you just take a small break. I don't need to go like full on profitability, which is what a lot of startup bros or startup sisters do nowadays. Profit. I mean, it's all
startup sisters.
Yeah, I mean, why grow at an unsustainable pace? I feel like ultimately for me, the more important thing is like my happiness and satisfaction doing this, not like being answerable to investors, which luckily we don't have, or unluckily.
Or board of directors or something, right?
So for me, it's just like, okay, we like doing this, we keep doing this, and then it makes money, it makes like a decent living. We never let anyone down. We can sleep at night, and I think that's
I think some people will say we let them down lah.
okay
But I think this is part of
sorry guys.
yeah, sorry we let you down.
Yeah.
But I think it's just part of growing that. I like your example. What is it? Death Cat for Cutie that you always talk about bands.
Yes.
And the indie status, I feel like this year, one of the biggest changes, I feel like we have sort of, we are crossing this threshold. I feel like we're not in indie status anymore. Indie status is very comforting. But when you're in indie status, especially when you are just at the start of indie status, you dream of becoming mainstream status. Then when you start going towards mainstream status, what will happen is that you will reach people that might not inherently like your stuff. They might not like your whole philosophy or attitude or perspective.
Yep.
And this is something that we had to come to grips with, especially this year, as we grow from just Facebook and then into Instagram. And then now Facebook and Instagram both are nearing 300K. I feel like we're plateauing in terms of the number, which I'm okay with. There's a lot of people to reach.
It's fine, I think. I rather have like, I don't know, like
Small but loyal.
100K engaged audience versus like
A million.
a million people. They don't really care about you. So I think at this point, like numbers is not the biggest thing.
It's quality.
Yeah,
not
I think it's
quantity.
more of like the quality of our audience, which will be determined by the quality of our content. Because I think like a lot of people who want like quick stock tips or like, I want to do this.
What to buy.
All this. I don't think they'll come to a platform. They probably think we are like some fluffy mumbo jumbo people always talk about like philosophy, mindset, economics,
Yeah.
all these other things. They'll be like, where's the actual
Where's the method? What's the method?
what's the method?
What's the tip?
What's the practical thing that can help me? Then
What's the actionable thing?
yeah. So yeah, I think
I think we know our place. We are a gateway kind of thing. We are not.
we're a gateway drug.
We are gateway drug. Our drugs are not to be laughed at.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Sorry.
But
sorry for
we are
laughing.
just the entry point. So we are okay if you come through us and you feel like we are too basic for you, or that you've graduated past our content. It's okay, move on. We can't be anything. No, we can't be everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to elaborate like on a little bit about what you say about the death cat, the cutie point.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the things I learned this year was like to give up the need to be universally liked. Yeah, and I felt like that was really empowering. And it's not something like I discovered.
Death cat for cutie.
Yeah.
You found death cat for cutie.
No. To give up.
Wait, can you explain the death cat for cutie thing? Like, what's the
Okay.
point of
So
it?
Death Cat for Cutie used to be this like very indie band
Yeah.
when I was young. So like 20 years ago. Shit, okay. So like
Damn.
early 2000s, Death Cat for Cutie was a very indie band, people loved them. Then after that, like they became mainstream, then people like started to say, last time the old style was better. I dislike you, you so out. And that's how I came up with the Death Cat for Cutie analogy.
Yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, like you can apply probably to a lot of bands.
Yeah,
right?
of course. But I mean,
some people start on YouTube, and then people are like, Justin Bieber started on YouTube, and he was loved back then.
Yep.
He's just a kid with a phenomenal amount of talent, and then mainstream, and then I mean, he also did a lot of stuff, lah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the thing I was trying to say, Death Cab for Cutie to become big, they had to give up the need to be universally liked.
Yeah.
And I guess in some way it works for ourselves also.
I think it's impossible. I think if you are not able to get past the need to be universally liked, you will not move past that. And if it is because once you start to cross over into somewhat mainstream space, you will feel the hate coming from people who chance upon your content who didn't look for it because their friends shared it and because you are reaching that stage where you will get this feedback and you will just be so overwhelmed by it that you will just stop. You know, so it's a necessary thing to overcome.
Yeah,
right?
but I think it's very difficult to overcome.
It's hard,
and I find it so hard to be overcome
Yeah,
because
same.
I want to be I want to be universally liked. I mean, it sounds very like bad saying it, but I like people to like me. I mean, this is just who I am, I mean, who wakes up and like, oh my god, fuck that guy, like,
I think some people have that courage, like
maybe,
Winston Churchill, that kind,
maybe some people have, but like I don't.
Most people don't,
And giving that up is really difficult. Yeah, because, but it's also part of reaching more people, right?
Yeah.
So when I was like Ruiming, just myself, not part of Work Experiment, right? I, let's say the maximum amount of people who interacted with me is maybe like 50 people.
50.
And among these 50 people, like all of them have a choice whether they want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
And I think all of them like me to a certain extent. So it's easy to be universally liked in a circle of 50.
Because if they don't like you, they will leave your circle of 50.
Exactly.
Very quickly. And they won't go online and talk about you because like, I met this guy Ruiming, I didn't like him. So what are you talking about? Just don't care the guy, right?
Yeah. But then like as 50 becomes like 100, you know, 300, 500, 1,000, 100,000. Then I gotta accept that out of these like 100,000 people or even like 5,000 people, like some of them are going to dislike me, like really, really dislike me, and that is really difficult because you are just yourself. You just speak your mind. Then people will dislike you, lah.
Yeah. So you can't use the same mentality as Ruiming with 50 people on the Woke Salaryman with almost 600,000 people.
I think it is. Ruiming can reach like 50 people, and that will be fine because he's just Ruiming, right?
Yeah.
But if I want to talk about personal finance on...
Ruiming is great, though. I love Ruiming.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
I'm one of the 50.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but when it comes to personal finance...
When it comes to personal finance, you want to reach more than 50 people. You want to reach like as much people as possible, right?
I think for us, yes. I don't think that's necessarily always the case. Like, there are people who just make content and they just make it either for their own sake or for whoever wants to hear it.
Okay.
But we genuinely believe actually that generally a better understanding of personal finance helps society becomes better.
Yeah.
That's what we genuinely believe. So we also want to reach as many people as possible, right?
So when you reach as much people as possible, like there will be a lot of mean people. I mean, to anyone who is an aspiring content creator and wants to reach a lot of people in the future, it's part of it.
It's part of it.
And I think many people want to be content creators, but also they are unwilling to let go of the need to be universally liked. Because once you put yourself out there, like consistently and over a long period of time, reaching like a large audience, you will get judged, you will get criticized, and it's all about having the mental awareness. I want to say fortitude, but actually no one should put up with like being mentally harassed all the time. So I'll say like to be mentally aware enough to kind of like step away from it when it happens. So I think
That's tough, right?
that was like a huge lesson for me in 2021.
But I also feel like it's like I was saying like earlier, if you are Ruiming, just you, and then if somebody is pissed off with you, there is no reason for them to write something because your reach is only 50 people. But because our reach is like in the hundreds of thousands right for now, I think people also feel like we are having an impact. So if they really disagree with what we are saying, like for example, we get some people say we are too hard up on money, that we are pushing people to be too money minded. Some people say the opposite. They say that we are not alpha enough, that we are recommending very like
basic bitch strategies.
very what?
Basic bitch.
Yeah, very basic bitch, passive or very like index kind of investing. So we get whacked from both sides. But if you truly disagree with us, right, and you feel like we are recommending the wrong thing, you also feel like we are swaying hundreds and thousands of people away from the right way to do it. So naturally, I also understand why people. I also sometimes do that. Like if I see something happening online, like a reaction to a piece of news, and people all think this, and I also feel sometimes the desire to go and say, hey, this is wrong, okay, people.
To correct them, right?
Yeah, to correct them, to say something about it, to try to sway public opinion away. And this is part of it. And I've come to understand that more and more now. Sometimes I still write comments online, but I really, I think one of the biggest things, change-wise for me, is that I stopped typing stuff online. Because when you are in this position where you are starting to make these things and you see the whole gamut of these things happening, and you try to understand it, you understand that truly you yourself, one person typing a comment, whether that truly has sway or not, actually is very debatable sometimes. Sometimes it can, but a lot of times it will just get lost in the cacophony of differing voices, unless you are somebody with a very distinct, like, very notable person, like Elon Musk, that kind of, he say one word, people will listen, right? So typing comments online also somewhat, I understand what there is already. Not say don't type, engagement is good. Right?
And I think like I also been that crazy person online. Oh shit. I also been that like angry person online. Like I remember there was a period of time in 2018 I was like very sick and tired of my job. Okay, so I created like this fake account, anonymous account. Then I'll go and like leave like what I thought was witty remarks.
Right, so it's like a burner account, but it's a fake.
Yeah,
it's a fake profile, right?
Yeah. I think looking back, I was just using it to like relieve stress or like to escape the fact that I was feeling very sian at work.
But I think also like this is a common phenomenon, right? Because but I also feel like I don't know how because like anonymity also is not just a cowardly move. It's not like because there are legit cases where anonymity is useful, but I also feel like online got so many of these things.
There are a few legit cases where when anonymity was great. I mean like
Batman,
like WikiLeaks, Batman,
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
while it lasted, in the movie.
Clark Kent.
Yeah,
but I think most of the time people abuse anonymity, and I have been the abuser of anonymity. So.
I see. I also have burner accounts, but I don't. I have made one before like that, but I never did anything with it.
Yeah.
I set up this whole profile where this person is a certain kind of thing, then he always misunderstands something.
Yeah.
Because there are accounts like Ken M, for example, in the US, it's just this account in the United States that this person created, like supposed to be some old man, then he'll purposely go and misunderstand things in comment, then he screenshot. It's very funny, But most of the time, if you're just using it as an outlet to vent, might not be a very fruitful use of your time and energy, right?
So I mean, after understanding this, like it's a lot easier to let go of mean comments.
Yeah. So you want to talk about other things that you did this year that was very
I actually got a list. I actually did LASIK this year.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like one of the best decisions of my life.
How much did it cost?
Cost me like $5,000. But because I added like some cross-linking thingy to
Cross-linking
to
thing.
make like your
Is it
eyes
your
better. Or
cyborg
something. I don't
powers,
know,
huh?
like maybe add cyborg powers or something. But I just felt like it was I just listened to the doctor. Like, the doctor say it's good, and like okay lah.
Right.
And I did some research online. Apparently, it helps like the durability of the process or something like that.
Durability, like it lasts longer. It doesn't wear off, right?
No, like it strengthens your cornea. I think that's the exact phrasing.
But do you feel like it was very expensive?
Yeah, I felt it was very expensive.
The one lump sum cost outlay very high, right?
I think I was expecting it to be like 3,000-4,000.
Uh-huh.
But because I added like that process,
cyborg thing, yeah.
the cyborg thing, it became 5K. But all in all, I felt like I mean I became financially free this year, so I thought like I didn't buy a car, I didn't have an expensive.
Yeah, I mean 5K is.
Yeah, so I thought like okay lah. I mean I invest in my health,
Yeah.
and so far it's been a great investment.
I also did LASIK a long time ago, lah. But that was in Johor for I think like 3,000 ringgit or something like that. Then
Wow,
my
okay.
mom paid for me, lah. But that was a long time ago, and she also believed in investing for the body like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's very high, but really like your vessel is all you've got, lah. Like, when everything else is gone, you still have this, and if this doesn't work, everything else doesn't matter also, right?
It's about like upgrading your body, sort of like the way I view it is like you send your body to the workshop.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't drive a car for like, I don't know, 1 million kilometers non-stop, right?
Yeah.
A lot
You need
of
to service that shit.
So I saw you like, I think now we're in our 30s, right? You just go service your eyes and I mean
Things are gonna start to break down already.
Yeah.
We got a certain mileage on us already.
Yeah. Next year I wanna like fix my teeth, cause I have this
Impacted.
yeah, do you see? Like
okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
Then like food has been getting there, then like it's always bleeding and stuff.
right.
And then the doctor always say like, hey, your gum health, in your 30s, it won't be great, so you must look after that. So I mean, although I use a mocking voice, I do recognize that.
Mocking like.
I do recognize, but I do recognize like my dentist is a trained professional. I should probably listen to him. So I also grew up watching my dad, with like dentures. He just take out like this whole big teeth and just put it there.
Oh, your dad has fake teeth?
Yeah, my dad has fake
I
teeth.
didn't even know
Yeah,
when I
move the
saw.
mic, is it okay?
I think it's okay.
Okay, yeah. So,
Move it.
so my dad has fake teeth because he was a smoker, and after that like I don't know, maybe people in the 60s and 70s didn't brush teeth very often. Yeah, but my dad has like pretty messed up teeth.
Right.
And I thought I want to avoid a similar fate because I would like to have teeth like until a long age.
Yeah, I think teeth are. I don't know. I get very squeamish about teeth because like I don't like teeth things. It feels like something I can't really control, but it causes such intense pain because it's in the face. Like it's in the bone of the face. It really bothers me when it's teeth. So I had both my wisdom tooth, actually 4. One, the top bottom taken out. And it's just, I feel so helpless in it. But I'm so glad that it's finally out. And like, I was just so horrified by the whole procedure because I was doing mine. And then the dentist actually halfway through the thing, as he was drilling, he went, oh no. And I was like, what? And I was gripping the thing.
Yeah.
So what happened was actually my root had grown in, not just in, right, but it had hooked it. So he had a lot of problems taking it out. And as it drilled, right, even though there was anesthesia, I felt that shit.
Oh no.
It was so painful.
Oh no.
And it was painful the first time I did it. Then the second I dreaded it, and it was painful again. So I'm just glad I'm done now.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad it's all settled. Then now I can fix other things with my teeth. But I heard that teeth, like, actually last time it was just how people dealt with it was they just didn't do it. Like they used to do stuff like they had wooden teeth that you need to hammer into the gums and stuff.
Yeah.
So when it was done, I asked my doctor, like the dentist, I asked him like, wow, this is so painful, like even with anesthesia, how the hell did they do it in like medieval times? And he laughed and he said they didn't. Apparently
shit.
in the animal kingdom, like a lot of animals die because of teeth.
Yeah, but
like,
they can-
like elephants, for example, right? Elephants, a lot of them, they grind their teeth away.
Yeah.
And then they just die of old age, die because they can't take in food. So a lot of times they actually have to make like fake teeth for animals in elephants in captivity, so they continue to live.
For those that can't grow back their teeth, because I think like crocodiles and sharks.
Or they just grow back.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Sharks
yeah.
don't have that problem. Yeah. They have like backup rows and shit. Right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So LASIK.
Well, health-wise, you also got COVID, right? Actually, that
Yeah.
was an interesting episode. You want to talk about that?
Actually, like it's very anticlimactic because I was already vaccinated when I got it.
So you got 2 vaccinations.
Yeah.
And then also you were going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
So I was going to I planned to go in Germany on the 10th of October. Then after that, like on the 10th of October morning, I found out I got COVID. So I had to drop every single thing and then like
So you're supposed to fly.
yeah.
Then you took that last test before you bought the flight.
I
that
took it
kind.
2 days before, but the result only
Ah.
came out on the day itself.
Okay,
On the
okay.
10th.
So it's like I packed all my shit ready to
Yeah.
go. Nope.
Yeah, it was damn depressing. Actually, like the sianness
Yeah.
hit me harder than
The COVIDness.
yeah the COVIDness. I think
Yeah.
COVIDness all I had was like on the bed, cold sweat, then
Oh.
like sweating non-stop or something. Then I just drank a
Cold
lot of
sweat,
water.
but
Yeah.
you so blanket like you were feeling cold but you were sweating.
Yeah.
Like fever lah.
Yeah. Then I watched like I don't know a whole bunch of like Netflix episodes about Rome or something.
Okay.
And then like after 3 days that was done, I was okay already.
Wow.
But like also I found out like I couldn't take a plane for the next 14 days.
So your plans got
yeah,
completely.
it got completely wrecked.
So your Airbnb all like book already how?
I
Like,
had to cancel all of them. So some of them had like refund, like quite a bit of them didn't. But I am just grateful that I survived and
Wait, so some of them you actually had to pay for even though you were not there.
because I think like those that were
Man.
maybe like 2-3 days before the whole trip really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not their fault lah, right?
It's not.
Yeah, it's actually COVID's fault. COVID, you little bitch.
Or is it your fault?
Why?
Where do you think you might have gotten it actually?
So
Do you have a?
So I lent my phone to like this man with like dementia-ish thing. He was just wandering around the neighborhood and asking for like
It's an old man.
yeah. He was asking like hey, can you lend me your phone? Lend me your phone.
What's with the mocking voice?
So I can call. Okay, I mean it's a reenactment lah. Okay, okay, this is my reenactment voice.
His voice deeper than yours lah, right?
Yeah.
That's why you do the thing.
I think it was in Chinese lah. So it
Okay,
was like,
okay.
你借我你电话可以
You lend me your voice.
yeah. So,
lend me your phone.
我要打给
I want to call
yeah,
somebody.
要打给谁 so I lent him the phone. Oh shit, alarm went off.
You
so
lend
I,
him the phone.
So I lent him the phone. Then after that, like he used the phone. Then after that, like I was already aware, like possibly I might get COVID from it. So I went home.
So when you borrowed it, oh boy.
Yeah. So I actually like
Oh, boy.
I was actually like thinking, I was like, oh man, he might have COVID. Oh man, but he's also like old man.
Yeah.
That's like whatever lah. That like I went to like the hand sanitizer station. Then I
Yeah.
just put hand sanitizer on my phone. Right. I just put it on my phone all the way. Then after that, like I went for the test the next day. Then like I got COVID. Like, I mean that's the only guy I interacted
shit.
like very deeply with.
Vividly lah.
Yeah, vividly.
Yeah, don't say deeply. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, vividly with. Or I claim
So it probably is him lah.
it probably is him, but I also don't want to assign blame.
Yeah.
Uncle, if you're watching this, I hope you found whoever you're looking for.
And you will also continue to do acts of goodness.
Yes.
But I mean, COVID times you'll be a bit wary lah.
Yeah, I
But
think
the lesson
yeah.
was that he actually, you were thinking that it could be a problem, but you still chose it to lend him the thing.
Yeah, and in retrospect, I regret it.
Yeah. But you do it again lah.
I don't know how to do it.
Oh, you might not do it.
I don't know. I don't
actually,
know. It's quite shacks, yeah. Hey, 10 days stay at home.
Yeah, I can imagine lah. It's pretty rough.
Okay, let's
Wait,
see.
then your trip how?
Yeah, so I also went to Europe for a month.
So after recover everything.
Yeah, after recover everything, went there.
Test negative.
Yeah. So I brought my bicycle there to cycle for I think 3 weeks, and then my girlfriend came for 1 week. It was really crazy getting out of Singapore because for the first time in like a year, maybe like a year plus, right? You can walk. I can walk in public without a mask, yeah.
So in Europe, all across Europe, you can just walk outdoors without a mask.
Yeah, without a mask.
But indoors you need lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it felt really like surreal being able to travel again. Like I think I told you, right, I almost missed my flight to France. To Germany, because usually when you're going to board a plane, there are like a lot of people queuing up like outside.
Yeah, you can't know. Okay, it's roughly there.
But because like COVID, there was like no one. Then I just like
The plane will just fly.
yeah,
and then there's nobody.
I was just using my phone outside like a dumbass. I was like, oh hey, why the people haven't started queuing up yet? After that, like they said like, oh, final boarding call for.
Then you
Then I was like, oh fuck, it's me. And then I was the last guy.
That's true. Actually, I take that for granted. How You just sit at the boarding, then you kind of can feel the tension. Then okay, I gotta board soon.
Yeah.
But without it, it's just the plane flying away. I didn't know.
The plane was like less than like 1/4 filled.
Also, so okay lah, got
Yeah,
people like
but
not a solo flight.
Good thing to know is like not a good thing. Like something you might still experience is that people still rush to get off the plane when it when it
So
has
1/4
landed.
and people will still run. I
Yes.
think it's a very human thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
You can't you rush to get on, then you rush to get off.
Yeah.
For some reason, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so once I was there, I went on this like cycling thing. So
Yeah.
I cycled from Munich to Innsbruck. Innsbruck is in
Innsbruck,
Austria. So Germany
okay.
to Austria, and then did some other things in Austria. I went east lah, right? And then after that, I came back. It was really fun. The weather was great for the first, I'm going to say like first 10 days. Like really sunny. There were like a lot of autumn leaves and, sunshine. But like the last part, it just became quite...
Yeah, I saw
quite
through your
miserable.
story, it's like suddenly it became whiter and whiter.
Yeah, it became like wet and snowy. And
Or must be very slippery, if it's ice, for example,
yeah. I think towards the end, I decided to stop camping because getting out of your sleeping bag at like 3 a.m.
Cold. Yeah.
Then it's like zero.
piss.
It's 0 degrees, yeah, and then you need to pee, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the only reason to get out of sleeping bag at night. Then like walking to the toilet, and then suddenly like a cold gust of wind comes. Wow, it takes everything to keep the pee in. It feels like a very sharp, broad knife just cutting into your soul.
Is that,
or
okay,
something.
let it go.
Yeah.
I need some warmth now, release.
So I had this thing like I will not drink after like 5 p.m.
Is
So
that unhealthy for you? Like
it is
in cold.
I will not drink after 5 p.m. So I will not have to get up and piss.
Wow.
Cause it's just that
How
unpleasant.
you connect like a pipe that goes out?
I think the logistics of
So you sleep with your groin in the air. So there's a bit of gravity lah. Then let it flow. No such thing. I'm surprised. I thought
wait, how would it work? You
So
sure?
because you need gravity for the pee to flow. Otherwise, if the pipe goes from your
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
out,
yeah.
it would just gather, right? Then it will flow back on you. So you need to have some or have a pump system. Maybe it's a product that we can invent that we can make $1 million next time. Like an automatic pump system. That
Okay. Number one, I don't think the pee, right, you have enough power to shoot out the thing over like.
No, it's not propelled, but that's why I say lift your groin up a little bit. So it's good if you have a hammock. So it just flows off, right? So you're above ground, because if you're on the ground, the pee won't move, and you have to really piss them hard to force it out. But my idea was not that you force it out with the muscles of your. I'm assuming it's your penis. Is it penis muscle? Is it a penis muscle that push pee out, or is it the inside?
I do not know.
The kegels or whatever. Whatever. This is a weird thing. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about
I thought about it later. Somebody go and make the product, so I'll design it myself.
Hey, don't steal his idea.
Yeah, don't steal This is my copyright.
I think it's a bad idea, by the way.
Okay, I won't let you in on this.
Okay.
This manufacturing process.
Okay, fine. Yes. So
How was people there? In the
yeah,
start,
and people there were really.
So
how
they
should I say?
racist?
No, I experienced like two different sides of Europe. I think one there were definitely some racist people. Yeah, so I was at the park. Then I saw like some few mice. Few mice are like the really small ones that
Very
will
cute, little brown ones.
they would climb the maize stalk and then they just like at the top, right?
Yeah.
And I was just looking at them. I was like, oh my god, so cute. Then like some guy came up to me and was like, hey, do you know you can't eat that? These are not for eating. These mice are not for eating.
What?
That was like, okay, sure. Then after he left, I was like, wait a minute.
The racist thing. Hey,
Yeah.
that dude was being racist.
He was racist. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow, hey, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but
so,
I mean-
so he's a German dude that talked to you in
Yeah.
English lah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I want to imitate the German accent, but I don't think I should.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
not.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Then
Maybe they eat that. Maybe it's a common thing. I'm trying to like devil's
justify.
advocate.
Yeah.
Racist
I don't know.
devil's advocate, you know.
Maybe they're not racist. But I'm sure maybe it's because they have the stereotype that Chinese people eat anything
could
on
be,
four
could
legs.
be,
Yeah. So I mean, that was one racist incident that I remember. But
Possibly
no one,
racist.
yeah. No one beat me or anything lah. Although I would say they threw my passport.
Oh, they threw my passport too when I went to Europe.
Yeah,
I
why-
remember very distinctly.
Why are they like this? I think they're just not very happy. at
Either
their
they
job.
had a bad day or they don't like tourists. That's very possible too. I remember several times where they threw my passport.
Yeah, it's just like
Bah. What the-
Then he's like throwing away like a dead rat. He's like,
Right.
because in Singapore or in Japan or most Asian countries, I feel like they will like, okay, here's your passport, thank you. I mean, they won't do that lah. Alright. No, but this guy was like a dead rat. He just like, and he did it with like some sass, you know, like, I'm gonna chop this. Oh fuck this shit! I'm gonna throw your passport.
Like it's a movement, you know.
Yeah. You know, in those videos where they
Fuck your passport.
you know, in those videos where they say like, oh, these people are awesome at their job, then they
He's awesome at disdainfully chopping passport.
they just chop, throw. Yeah, I'm not looking. I mean,
That's
it
funny.
happened like 2 or 3 times already.
Right.
So yeah, I'm
I think okay, like,
Yeah,
in the
but-
grand scheme of
but
racist things.
no one beat me up lah. So I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
And it's a very low bar, but I think it's a very important bar that needs to be discussed.
But they were nice people too, lah.
Yeah,
Right?
so definitely. I was really surprised because people always say when you go to the countryside, you know, there are a lot of like people who are not as accepting of Asian people,
Okay.
right? But when I went to the Austrian or German countryside, like people were really nice to me. There was like a guy who bought like beer for me. There was like a German soldier that I just met, and then we just went out for like a meal together. And then we just talked about like serving in the army and stuff. And so he was like really friendly. So a lot of these like instances of friendliness didn't happen like in the major cities such as like Frankfurt or Munich,
Right.
but it happened like in really small towns.
But this is the soldier that gave you the.
Yeah.
code.
So he gave me like his number 4, like.
I cannot
to wear.
believe that somebody just gave you the jacket.
Yeah, he said
What
like.
did you do with him that was so connective that he said, I'm going to give you my jacket?
No, we just went out for drinks.
Uh-huh.
Then we just talked about like our lives. He's like a 22-year-old soldier that went to sign on,
Huh.
and then I think.
But how do you even meet? Like how?
So we were at the backpackers hostel. Right?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
That day,
okay,
like
got
he
it.
was my. The only 2 of us.
Bunkmate,
Yeah.
Okay,
and the interesting thing, like, you know, the hostel, right, was in this place called Berchtesgaden,
Okay.
which is apparently one of the most like conservative places
Okay,
in Germany. It's
okay.
actually very near like Hitler's house.
It's at the deep south of America. is it?
Yeah. So
Right.
apparently it's there. But people were so nice there to me. So I think it was really surprising, like, because
Right.
the story that the media always tells us, like, you know,
Yeah.
if you live in a big city, you are more accepting of other people, you are more metropolitan, you support diversity more. Yeah, but I think people are just people at the end of the day, and I think if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. Unless, you know, you are observing some few minds, then
I feel like people in cities tend to be colder, and then people in the countryside tend to be warmer, and they're more inviting and hospitable. But I've also, when I went to, for example, Uzbekistan, the cities are a bit like cities, but it's also very touristy place. So they see like a obviously Asian person. But also they kind of, it's hard to tell because sometimes we, as sort of Chinese-y looking people, we look like the Mongolian side of things, you know?
Yeah.
So we can blend in somewhat well. So, but when I went to the countryside, I remember like experiencing like extreme racism, but also like extreme hospitality. They did all this stuff, like all the eye stuff, but they were so warm. So it's like that racism is not even like
I think
they hate you. It's just
they're ignorant.
difference.
They're ignorant, right?
I might not even say it's just never seen anything like you before, but they were so warm as well and so nice. It's a very weird sort of thing, you know. It's like they did this, but then, you know, come and eat with us at our table, give you bread, give you all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, like. Yeah.
I think to deal with it, like, you just don't try to assume the worst of people.
Yeah.
I find like that's like a good thing to do. Because like if I went out of my way trying to take offense at everything, then I think I'll have a very unpleasant holiday.
True.
I mean, there was a guy who say like konnichiwa to me
Uh.
that I'm pretty sure could be racist, right?
I mean,
Could be, right? Because like he assumed all Asian people are Japanese people lah.
but that could be ignorance.
Yeah,
lah,
but
you
could be
know.
ignorance also. So I mean, I just don't read too much into it.
No, just move on, right?
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I mean, like, but if somebody's punching you in the face, you can't.
Yeah, I think-
you can't ignore that.
I would say, like-
I'm subjectively ignoring this, but I mean that.
Yeah,
that is,
I would say like
yeah.
if someone punches you in the face, the chances of it being racism is quite high.
Quite high.
Yeah, quite high. Yeah.
Quite high.
So I definitely did some traveling this year. But how about you, Wei Choon? You wanted to go to Malaysia. You haven't seen your parents for like a year.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because like since the work salary, we quit the work salary. Oh no, I quit my full-time job to do work salary, man, in April 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right? Yeah, 2 years ago. So that was when the pandemic was really starting to kick off. This was when I remember so clearly. I talked to my boss about it. My boss like, you sure or not? Because got this thing called COVID, you know. It can mess you up, you know. I don't know if your job will still be here and things like that, lah. So I feel like actually the COVID has been quite good for me to, because the lockdown has made it so that I used to go back to Malaysia every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, and then the weekend I go back to Malaysia. And it takes a lot of time. Because I will take bus, it will take like 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes because of the jam, right? But not going home I've not been home for damn long time. I think almost 3 years already. So it's a very drastic change from my life, but also it has coincided with when I quit my job to do work salary man full time. So now my new normal has been this for so long, right? I actually feel a little bit guilty for not going back to Malaysia or not making more efforts to do so because it's quite a tricky process, and I'm also afraid if I go over then the rules change or something, I can't come back. And also I have peers who are from Malaysia and Singapore that Malaysian PRs in Singapore who have gone back to Malaysia. And I feel a bit guilty for not pushing hard to do that, but it has also been very useful for work salarymen and the business side of things. So I really do want to go back next year. I'm trying to book the land VTL thing, but it's so difficult to book. It's booked like so much in advance.
Is it more oversubscribed than like a BTO or something?
I think way more, dude.
Like 300,000 or something, is it? I can't remember.
I remember when I went to cut hair, the guy who's cutting my hair, also Malaysian, said when he tried to do it, it was like 180,000 people waiting. Then he checked again, it was like 200,000. So it's going up very quickly, and a lot of people want to go home for New Year and stuff. And I feel guilty for one, not going back, and number two, not feeling the huge urge to go back because my family, I've always been very independent, but I also would like to go back and see my family. And one of the resolutions that I had for myself actually was when I earn enough money, I want to buy a car or a cheap car so that I can drive back to Malaysia and save myself time, but still spend time with my family. And what kills me is that I see photos of my family when they go out and stuff together. It's not that I'm not there, it's that I see my mom and dad and I see them like aging physically, like to the point where if I think about when I last went back, then I thought about how my father looked, and if I just suddenly were able to teleport back now, right, the difference I think would be very big, and it's just all these things like you see spots on the hand, wrinkles, white hair from salt and pepper becoming white, and then the hairline like. It kills me a little bit, and I can't. It's very difficult to do something active about it because it will come at the price of something else, and it's very difficult to because my wife is here, so if I ask her to go with me, it interrupts her work as well. If I'm gonna go for a long time, and if you're gonna do all these tests, whatever, right? Not opportunity cost. The setup cost is so high that you naturally want to stay there for longer. It's like an expensive flight. You don't want to go there 7 days and come back. You want to really bask in it because the flight costs the same anyway.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to go back next year, but it's just very difficult because in Malaysia, I feel like the situation is just really rough. Then we got some flood recently also. It's a weird situation. I would hate if something happens at home and I'm not there. And Singapore, Malaysia has always been very open. Always been able to go in and out very easily because of proximity. Culturally also very related. Economically very tight. Not just Singaporeans that need Malaysian manpower. So I know for a fact that the renovation and the contractor kind of side of things is quite affected by it. Because, it's not racist or anything. It's true lah. The manpower really is quite reliant on Malaysian workers being able to come in.
Yep.
And when we are part of the reasons why we're moving out now, we don't have the new office yet, is because the new office is being renovated, and because of the manpower crunch, we can't get it done until February. So we have 2 months. Actually, we have to put our stuff and our furniture all in storage for 2 months, while we wait for the renovation to be done. So Malaysia side also, is very reliant on Singaporeans, Singapore tourists, Singapore PRs, no, Malaysian Singapore PRs coming back to Malaysia to spend money. Johor, for example, a lot of the infrastructure and the economy is very dependent on Singaporean business, basically. So it's a very tricky thing.
I remember not to gloat, but like I remember last time, like my dad always told me this story. Like there's a period in like the 90s where Johor people like hated Singapore. Then they're like
90s.
Yeah, then they were like, go away Singaporeans, we don't want you here, we don't want you here. Then I remember like my dad like not gloating lah. He was sort of say like, yeah, but after that they were like, oh, please come back, because like things didn't do so well.
And it's I'm not gonna. I mean, not good to gloat.
Of
but
course.
it's true. There is a relationship economically.
Yeah, so I think like we are both very heavily dependent on each other. I think like when I was young, I always make these Malaysian jokes. I mean, Tyler knows. Like, I made this like
I've heard many of them probably.
very, very good Malaysian jokes. But I decided to like stop making them because not helpful. Although sometimes I
think it's okay. It also depends on where you know the person well. I've also been on the receiving end of really bad ones. That I just went, oh, that hurt me a bit. Like why do you have to go there? Like, but it's also the person don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, like one person told me before. Well, I almost said the person's name, but it's someone we both know. This person said, "Wow, you Malaysian? I didn't know that. I always thought like you Singaporean, but now I know that I didn't know like Malaysian can be like so chill and."
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay lah. I mean, like it's I like you said just now about the racism thing. I just choose not to think too much about it lah.
I sometimes I do Google your name, Wei Choon.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and sometimes I do it regularly. I apologize. Yeah. So I found on like Hardware Zone, people are calling you like JHK.
JHK, Johor Hokkien.
Yeah, Johor Hokkien. I think so. I think that's it. And I mean they are just saying like they're just angry because you didn't serve NS, and then we are here telling people how to not telling people. We are like sharing how we talk about being wealthy and building up your financial stability.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I didn't do NS. I didn't do national service, which is a compulsory thing for citizens
Singaporean
of
males,
Singaporean males to do.
Yep.
And I'm a permanent resident here. And I understand why people might say that or dislike me lah. Because okay, I'm not telling people how to do personal. I make a lot of mistakes when it comes to personal finance. I'm not the most financially savvy also. My contribution in Work Salaryman is more of a storytelling and also visual storytelling point of view. But although I have also progressed on my journey, and I think to tell people my flawed journey, how it went and what you can learn from it, don't repeat my mistakes, is a fair thing for me to do, Singaporean or not. Also, as a non-Singaporean, I feel like I have contributed, in other ways. Like, for example, when I did my master's in animation in NTU, and my thesis, you can say, oh, this is fluffy academic bullshit, but I mean, I put effort into it, and I stand by the things I wrote in it. I wrote a 27,000 word paper about expressing Singapore national identity through animation. And I am in love with Singapore culture, for the good and the bad, for the flaws and all the difficulty in pinpointing, for example, Singapore national identity, whether there is even such a thing in like 50, 60 years or you could say 200 years of history. But I think it's fair. It's fair. You can say that about me, and if you don't like it, then don't read my stories. I'm not being sarcastic. Then don't read it, because maybe I'm not able to reach you. But certainly read what Ruiming has to say.
Yeah, I feel like as someone who has done NS, and I will say like I did NS like more intensely than most people.
Why? You're an officer?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
what do you do in this?
I was a naval boarding officer, so like you climb ships and check for cargo and stuff.
More like pirates.
Yeah, I will not say more intensely lah, but
counter pirates.
I will say like I did do my NS, to the max of my ability. Yeah. Never talking, right?
Yeah.
I will say like it's why it's very natural to talking.
Yeah.
True. If most people can talking, they will talking.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, I don't think you should apologize. I think many Singaporeans get hung up on the idea of like, oh, do you do NS or not? It's always the first question, because the most natural thing to do is to go and compare, oh, did you do NS? And then like, and think of NS as this like crippling thing that will make you less advantaged than someone else. And to some extent it is, because there is big opportunity cost. But I do think if Singapore, right, like we had to, and like everyone had to do NS, then we will not be like where we are today.
What do you mean everyone? Like PR also?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
like, let's say, like,
females.
if you come here to work and provide the labor here, right, you have to do NS, right? Think of how few people there will be here, right?
Right.
Like, if, I don't know, like, expect to do NS, like, that's definitely out of the question.
Maybe they would.
I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't as an expert. So I think the issue comes is when people underplay NS or when they say like, oh, NS is not that big much of a sacrifice. So I think that is the thing.
I think it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing not to do.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Which I feel like you didn't, right?
Of course not, because it is. I actually don't mind doing a BMT. I love all the outdoor stuff. I love the idea of learning trade skills and things like that. How to tie knots, how to camp, how to kill a pigeon, which everybody did, right?
It's a
You
quail.
break the neck of the quail or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's 2 years lah. So it's 2 years in the prime of my not prime of my life lah. I mean like it's 18 to 20, right, or something like that. And if I could choose to use that 2 years, I would use it lah.
Yeah.
I would not be in there lah.
I feel like as long as you didn't like underplay NS,
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It's a huge sacrifice, and it's an amazing thing to do because you are essentially defending the nation.
Yeah.
It's a compulsory thing, and it gives you a lot of the diplomatic leverage that Singapore has.
yeah. So I think definitely you there's nothing to apologize about lah. I mean,
I'm not apologizing lah. I'm just saying like.
or to feel bad about.
I do feel
yeah.
bad lah. Anyway lah, because if it all goes down, I'm not ready to defend because I have not been trained to do it.
I mean, total.
I can't draw comics and fire the enemy and they feel bad. And
But total defense got 5 pillars of defense, right?
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I can do
So there's
Morale,
like
right?
there's like social defense, right?
Uh-huh.
There's economic defense, civil defense, military defense. Fuck, what's the last one?
Artistic defense.
I don't know. But
and the enemy
if
feel
defense
discouraged.
minister, if you're watching this, please let us know.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Wait. Just give me a second. 6 pillars. Oh shit, there are 6. Military,
There's 5.
civil, economic, social, psychological.
Psychological, right.
Oh my god, they added a new
Digital
one.
defense.
Digital
I see.
defense.
You see, it's adaptive.
Oh my god,
adaptive.
yeah. Skills future.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. That's terrible. Okay, should we move on to the next topic? I can't remember why we talk about NS. Oh yeah, I can't remember.
It's okay lah. We just wonder.
Okay, let's talk about financial goals in the years ahead and investment strategies.
Well, I don't have much, so I just say what I'm doing now. I'm just continuing to DCA from time to time into the S&P 500, and I have bought some random things here and there to just be part of the just to learn you know. So I bought some stuff at Tesla. I bought Alibaba, which is all red right now. I bought some China ETFs, red also, but I'm just gonna hold these things and not touch it. I also bought crypto in the past year. I bought very boring
Blue chip,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, I bought I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. Very boring stuff. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, for the most part, my portfolio is quite boring. So now, most of my stocks are in S&P tracker, like CSPX.
CSPX. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've reached like quite like a large number in that lah. It's around like 500k
Right.
in index funds.
Right.
Right. So it has given me like enough confidence to kind of go more aggressively into stuff like crypto or like active management portfolio.
So what are you doing on crypto?
So in crypto, I do like Bitcoin, Ethereum like you. Then I also do this coin called Terra. Terra actually like exploded recently. So it went, my portfolio went from I think it was 38k. Then I think it tripled. I got in around like $33 or something like that.
So it's more than 100k now.
So now the crypto portfolio is around, my total crypto portfolio is around 140k on a good day.
Nice.
Yeah. So moving forward,
That's an important qualifier on a good day.
yeah, on a good day,
Yeah.
because on a bad day, it's like maybe 80, 90.
Right.
So only recently it exploded in value. Yeah, but what I want to stress is like doing the index fund things is really important because like that actually gives me they give me to like because
It's
that
the
actually
safety net.
that gave me like the confidence to
Yeah.
kind of like put more in, you know,
Risky, high risk, high reward things. Right?
the riskier cryptos.
Right.
So apart from those three main holdings, I also have like a few smaller tokens or coins. So there's like, I bought this a very hyped up coin called Cadena.
Not Cardano.
Cardano, no, not
That's
Cardano.
another one.
Yeah,
That's CDN.
that is Cardano is ADA.
ADA. Right.
Yeah, I have Solana, so which is like Ethereum killer. So I basically bought like the Ethereum killers.
Right.
Then I bought like a few shit
Yeah,
coins.
but these are all functional stuff. It's not like meme stuff like Shiba or
I will say
Floki.
I will say KDA is something like they have like a vision and they have a promise on what it will be, but it hasn't happened yet.
But what level of research or knowledge do you go in on this? Like, do you understand the deep stuff, or is it more like you understand the basic premise and the unique selling point of each coin, then you decide on?
So I look for stuff like, you know, like, is there any real world solution? You know, are there people like really using it? Does it overlap with any other coins that are already out there? I mean, this is not the full list lah, but there's a lot, but like it's very long to say. Then like, who are the people actually doing it? So are these people like active, you know, on their development blog, you know, instead of like just saying this thing and then they never do, then they miss deadlines and stuff. So not a very deep level of research, but I will say like, given my time, because like I prefer to work on my earning power more, right? I think like it's okay lah, right?
I see.
And I didn't put like a lot in it, so it's fine. So there are also like metaverse coins, like Mana, Sand, Gala. Yeah, I think those are the three that I have as of now.
I see.
But this is not financial advice. Like
It's not.
fully compared to, I'm fully prepared to lose everything, because like I think what I like to think about crypto right now is that it is each development team is like a small company, right? And then all these small companies are all pre-revenue, so a lot of them are not making money yet.
Yep.
So you're buying in at the promise of them giving like 10x or even 100x returns. But of course, the risk is that many of these companies might fail in the long term.
Right.
And for me, like the risk to reward ratio is just something that I can tank right now. Yeah, because I already am financially free on like the more conventional investment side.
Right.
Yeah.
Any NFTs?
I haven't delved into NFTs much.
Right.
For you?
No, and I just don't like where NFTs are right now. I know like we probably will get a lot of people disagreeing with us about this, and I'm okay with being wrong about this. I'm okay if like 5 years later we were all revealed to be fools and they play this again and again. I'm okay with that, right? Because I really don't know, so, and I've been wrong on so many things.
Okay, but can you play it one time, not like again and again?
They do remixes, right? Never be useful. NFTs will never be useful. I'm not saying NFTs will never be useful.
They are useful. It's just that their current use is more for art, and
I don't even think it's for art.
More as like a valuable good, right? More as a social status.
Yeah. I think more for that. Like what? As a digital artist, like a lot of people ask me about it. A lot of people ask us because we are finance related, and then we also do art. So a lot of people also ask us about it, and I have a lot of peers who are in the NFT space who say, "Hey, bro, you guys should do something." You know, we haven't done it because I just say my stance first as a digital artist on NFTs, and as somebody who's sort of into that personal finance space. I feel like NFTs in the very fundamental core is a very interesting thing for me, because the idea that as an artist, I can create something, and then whenever that is transacted down the line, I get a cut from there. That is tremendous, and I don't think it's a lot to ask, and I think that's the way that it should be, because it allows the artist who is especially if you're all about the art, you should somehow reward the person or whoever, the entity, the company that produced this thing as a sort of a little bit of a homage or patronage every time it's transacted, because it is a lot of times art also, the value is tied to the creator. Like you think about Van Gogh, think about like Leonardo da Vinci and all this stuff. It's very tied to who made it, and there's a lot of contextual and storytelling power when it comes to that. Like how, for example, Van Gogh was a poor artist for most of his life. Then when he died, then after that he became, I think, admitted, like hard to deny now, he's like one of the world's most popular artists of all time. and when he was living it. Like, so there are all these things tied to it, you know. So I think like creators should be emphasized in this equation. But the NFT space is just so full of hypers and flexes. There is so much noise. That it's not about the art anymore. The last straw came for me when somebody I kind of look up to and I have benefited from his advice, Gary Vee. I think Gary Vee is he's good at what he does, and I've also benefited inspirationally from stuff that he has said about quitting your job and stuff like that. But when he did his V Friends thing, I just think, what is this horse shit lah? And I'm just saying it as a stupid myopic artist lah. Okay, so I can completely be wrong, and there is very few conversations as interesting as is this art. So for example, Marcel Duchamp, when he put a toilet bowl in an art gallery, or toilet cistern in an art gallery, people are like, wow, what is this? And it changed the concept of art. It brought about the idea of like conceptual art and things like that. So who knows, maybe in like 10 years, the Gary Vee thing, the stupid doodles that he made as part of V Friends will be considered some form of very conceptually interesting art. Or maybe something that is even tied to finance. But I feel like it's just stupid little doodles that has no artistic merit whatsoever. And I'm sticking my neck out here. I might be completely wrong. I'm willing to look stupid here because this is what I feel at this current moment. And I feel like actually we might have something as the woke salaryman to do in an NFT way. Like one idea that we had was that what if we... Oh, I just did a Gary Vee thing. He likes to do this. So one of the ideas that we had was to make NFT like action figures of woke salary people. So we would do a very limited run, like 100 copies. And then you either buy it, or I was thinking like we sold plushies, right? Everybody who bought the plushie just gets the NFT, and then they can just sell it or whatever. The thing that makes me not want to do it is that I think the flexers and hypers would ruin it all. And I'm being completely honest here. I would love to do NFTs just for the fundamental idea that I want somebody who likes our art, likes what we stand for, to own something that is, we make one. That is all I care about. I don't care about making 1 million, 2 million or more from it. I don't care about making so much money. I just want our fans to be able to interact with it and experience with our brand, our philosophy in another way. I genuinely want that, but I think it will ruin it. So for example, if we tie it to merchandise release, what would break my heart is that people just buy plushies, right? To get the NFT, then they throw the plushie away. So we're not doing it for now. Yeah, that's my stance on it. What do you think about NFTs and all this stuff?
Yeah, so I always think like crypto is like a moonshot, and NFTs are like the moonshot within the moonshot.
Right.
So for me, it's like NFTs can be good investments, but they should not be like the bulk of your investment strategy.
Right.
So the way I see it, like, I mean, and I think a lot of people are also doing it.
Yeah.
They are already rich already.
Yeah.
Then they do the NFTs to flex.
Yeah.
So they flex because they are rich. So I think like there's nothing wrong with the flexing, although I think it's very annoying.
Yeah.
There's nothing inherently wrong with the flexing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's just, it misleads people to kind of think that buying and selling NFTs are like a long-term sustainable way of building wealth, especially if you're starting from zero. I think like if you already have like 750k or 500k, right?
Yeah.
Then you please go trade your NFTs. You know,
Please.
Why? Because like it's speculative, right?
Yeah.
It's just like how people used to buy paintings.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a painting like in the past, and then like it did like
go up lah.
3x in value. So in a way, it is like NFTs.
It is.
Yeah, but I would not exclusively buy paintings.
Right.
As part of my main investment strategy.
Right.
So in the same way, NFTs shouldn't be. I mean, you wouldn't do it with painting.
Don't all or nothing it.
Then don't do it with NFTs also lah.
Yep.
I think there will be people who make a lot of money through NFTs.
I think already have. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be. Even coming from like $0.
Yeah.
Then they will go on to make a song and dance about it.
Yeah,
I made this one, but I think they won't be the norm lah. And I think like as long as you keep that in mind, I think that's fine. You know, just have fun. Don't go bankrupt. But I think in the future, NFTs will have other useful applications.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like real estate leases. Who
So
owns
it's a
what?
bit, it's a bit like the .com boom lah. I think it's like I mean, websites are still around today. .coms are valuable today. But when the .com boom happened, it just spiked in such a ridiculously overvalued like kind of a way that, you know, it was not going to be sustained, and then it will crash. And I predict that, not predict I mean, I don't know anything but I think the same thing will happen for crypto sorry, not crypto, sorry, NFTs, yeah. That it would spike. And then I feel like actually it's really spiking because there are now projects coming out, right, that are not immediately sold out the moment they drop. Especially all this iterative stuff like you know, the different hat, different eye, all that. I think I hate that stuff. I also thought about doing it for us, but I just see no value in creating this kind of scarcity like that for no other reason than to make buck and also to create as many as possible. And the gas fees that will ensue, like as of now, I don't feel like it's very responsible. But you know something I found interestingly about the gas fee and stuff, when you actually buy an NFT, right, a lot of times, right, the NFT is the NFT itself, right, the pixels of color that make up the JPEG or whatever, right, is not actually on the blockchain. What's on the blockchain, right, is a link, is a URL to the actual, I don't know, like JPEG or whatever that then you can view on that company, which is what you're talking about with crypto also, that company's website. So if they change it, then your thing is also changed. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you gotta trust the person. So got a lot of rug pull happen as a result of that.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to just sound so like shitting on NFTs all the time. I just think like a lot of people are saying the joke I hate the most is people saying, oh, I take screenshot, now I own it. Like, dude, you can take a photo of the Mona Lisa, you don't own it. I can go online and I can find pictures of the Mona Lisa in super high-res detail, zoomed in to the point where I can see that oil overlapping or whatever. I don't own it. It's the same NFTs. And if you're using that thing, you don't really understand what NFTs are all about. Not insulting you, I'm just saying that's not a very good counter. It doesn't annoy anyone who owns NFTs and really get the idea of blockchain ownership and the idea of the cryptography protecting a unique ownership.
I think in short, like, we see the benefits of NFTs, and it is there, but I just don't think like
right now in this current iteration, the players that are currently in there, I see people bidding it, right, just to show off. It's like an elaborate way to say I have 20 ETH because I can bid 20 ETH for it. I don't even want the thing. I just want my friends to Then why not just have a wallet? Let's just build an app that you can show people what amount of ETH you have. But then that's just straight up flexing. So people don't want straight up flexing. They want a subterfuge. They want a way to mask their flexing. That's what it is.
It's a classier way of flexing.
Yeah, but if you look at the essential psychology of that you have to get around all these psychological hoops to essentially show off of the amount of money you have. I would suggest that actually that might be something that is psychologically bothering you, that you should sort out, that you need to boast in this way.
Well, I do think like the behavior has been around for like the longest time. It's just that before they did NFTs,
they used to do flex with art, with their houses.
Watches.
Watches.
So I think like all things considered is not that terrible.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so back to like financial goals.
Yeah.
Another thing I hope to do this year is to live rent-free using crypto staking.
Right.
Yeah. So
what's crypto staking?
So crypto staking is you locking up your coins, and after that you earn an interest on it. At the basic level, that's what it is.
Right.
So you don't trade your currency, you just put it somewhere, then I think like other people they will use it
to start business,
like
whatever.
Like how a bank would use your money.
Right.
You know, when you put their money with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my plan is to earn at least like 1,200 to 1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Using staking.
Right?
Yeah. So currently I'm looking at this thing called like Anchor protocol. I already put I've been slowly putting money in just to see like how it goes for the past few months.
Yeah.
But I think next year I want to put like around like 70K in. So the interest is around like 19% right now. So the idea is that, you know, based on this 70K, I would be able to earn 19% of that a year.
But didn't you just say that you would be okay if your crypto all goes to zero?
Yes.
So how does that tally then? Like, because if you want to pay your rent with that, then how does that
so whether or not crypto crash or not, I will still have the ability to pay my rent.
You can pay, it's just where you pay it from.
But I want to try using this to pay my rent. Use it to offset my rent.
I see.
Yeah.
So basically what you're doing is you're doing something that is quite risky.
Yes.
But what you are doing is that the only difference is that you are basically the amount you put in, you are pegging to your goal, which is to pay your rent with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So in that way, you will not go above and just do it out of greed because
Yeah.
you are tied down to this financial
Yeah.
objective.
So I mean, like, if I wanted to live on 200K a year,
Yeah.
which would be great. Yeah, but I mean, not great lah. Yeah, I would put 1 million into the whole thing, then I'll earn
20%.
around 190K a year.
Right.
So there's definitely you could go all the way there.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, for me, crypto is still in my head. It's still quite a risky thing.
Volatile.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in like 70K first. Crypto space is still very new, so as a start, I will just try, to pay off my rent first. Which I feel like once having rent pay off is like already a pretty big
Quite
deal.
solid.
Already. Yeah.
True.
Like for you, like it might be your mortgage, right? Your mortgage maybe is like $600, $800 a month per person.
Yeah.
So I mean, just trying that is a good start already. Although like I would not do it if I didn't have like my more conventional investments like as backing.
Right, your S&P 500 or CSPX, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Right. So we're gonna move to a new space. I want to make YouTube videos about our progress and stuff. So look out for those as well. So if you have any questions for us, you can ask in the comments down below. We'll answer it as best as we can in the next one. So for the last time, buy from this place. The next one we're probably gonna be at not gonna be at our new office. It won't be done so fast.
Yeah.
But we'll probably do it outdoors or something. I want to do one where we're on our bikes or something.
Okay.
Not on our bikes. We
That'd be cool.
cycle,
Like
we
on the
cycle
bikes.
some,
Yeah, I
we
think
cycle
that'd be
somewhere then we do. Yeah,
Okay,
don't do on the bike. It's very
That's
dangerous.
also fine.
That's dangerous though.
Okay, but I can
Yeah.
do it.
Okay, slowly. We do the sit down one
Okay,
first.
we sit down. Oh.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye. See y'all in the next one.
Happy New Year.
And Merry Christmas and whatever
Christmas-
holidays you
Christmas
celebrate.
over. I think it's a Lunar New Year.
Okay, Happy Lunar New Year.
财神到
Happy New Year and Happy Lunar New Year.
噔财神到我的家门口。
You know that there's one song I always thought the Chinese New Year is
I know.
my song.
Yeah, Tati Tati Wei Choon, right?
Yeah, I always sang it as my name.
Tati Tati Wei Choon.
Okay, bye bye for real this time.
欢迎大地回春。